Hi, it's Josie, and today I'd like to talk to you about training your horse, and in particular down transitions. Down transitions are obviously an important part of riding your horse. You need to stop him, but you also need to change gaits. You need to understand the sequence of events. Your horse needs to understand how to answer your aids, and once you get it, you can teach your horse. And we break it down into little building blocks for both of you, so you get it and then he gets it. You need to have a scale that you expect your horses to respond to your aids. My scale's from 1 to 10, 1 being a very subtle aid, 10 being a little bit of a, excuse me, we are doing this, thank you very much, listen to me. And then you work somewhere in there. You need to decide what points you're happy to have your horse respond to your aids, and then you need to always ride and remember to correct your horse if he doesn't sit within that window. If you do a correction, you must come back and redo the aid. We never leave the horse on the correction. We always leave the horse on the soft aid. That's the way you keep your horse soft and subtle to your aids. I like to have the horses stop on about a 1 to a 3, and most of that is my seat and then maybe just a squeeze of the reins. And why is that? Because I like to use my reins for flexion, direction, length of neck, depth of neck, length of stride, and a few other things that we use our reins for. And if I'm using my reins to stop my horse, then I've just lost the finesse of some of the other aids. Take the time it takes to learn this, guys. You might feel like it's the long way to go around somewhere, but I promise you it's actually the shortest route. Once you can do this yourself without really thinking about it, it happens on automatic pilot, then you can go on and do other things, and also it gives you the ability to train your horse as well. So let's get on and do a few, and I'll talk a little bit of theory as we go. So the stopping aids for me are, Rebel feels like he's stopped already. He's gone to sleep while I talk to you. Come on. So the first thing I do is, before I give any aid to any horse, is I pick my own body up. Best way to explain that to you is I grow a little bit taller and I engage my core or pull my belly button to my backbone slightly. My horses can feel that through my seat. One of the reasons you need to have a soft seat, a soft, supple, balanced seat on a horse, so that any little movements mean something to him, whereas if you're falling all over the place, then he's getting a lot of white noise and nothing means anything. I do have a video, and I'll link it up here, on how you can work on your seat. I'll pop it in the description as well. So my stop aids, first of all, you need to have a following seat. Now, if you can just watch my pelvis, I think you can see here that my pelvis is just following his movement in the saddle. I'm not doing anything here. I'm sitting here soft and draped around my horse. So as he steps, he pushes my pelvis along, and I'm allowing it to happen, but keeping tone in my body. That's the first part of stopping a horse, is having that, because then when I stop that, you can see he's trained with this, but he stops because my pelvis stops following. That's my horse stopping from my seat. Rebel's a good stopper because he's essentially a lazy horse, but anyway, he still is stops from my seat. So when I walk off, my pelvis follows. The next part of stopping the horse comes, sorry mate, from touching the reins. Now, I don't pull to start with. The next part is using your reins in a stop. You don't pull back to start off with. You should be holding your reins correctly, so through your little finger and your ring finger and up over the top with your thumb on top. So the next bit for me is just to squeeze like I've got a sponge in my hand. If you have a contact, this doesn't mean your horse is on the bit, guys. If you have a contact and you're touching his mouth, he can feel that. So that's the second bit. Moving on, if he doesn't, I will pull my wrist in, so I will bend it that way, not that way. It'll go that way, because trust me, I can get 2 more inches feel on the rein doing it that way. That's quite a bit of pressure on a horse. And then if my horse is not actually going to stop, I'll do a 1 rein stop, or I'll turn them on a smaller circle. I've done a video on that, and I'll link that up here. and in the description below as well. If you like this stuff, guys, don't forget, please subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, leave me a comment, tell me if you're enjoying them. I'd love to hear it. Right, let's get on with some down transitions. So I'm going to start in rising trot. In rising trot for a down transition, at the top of the rise, I might pause for a split second, pull my core in, and yeah, good. And warn my horse that it's coming, and then he does a down transition. So the pause at the top of the rise is almost like I told you when I was walking, I pick myself up. And it's not for the horse to do a down transition, it's just a warning for him that something's coming. Try that again. So from trot, I pick myself up, and then I probably squeeze the rein all within 1 footfall of the horse. So a down transition in rise trot. Top of the rise, I just pause a second, pull my belly button in. Yes, he's listening. You can see his ears are on me. Then I'm going to squeeze my outside ring finger and walk. Pause at the top of my rise, squeeze my outside rein and ask him to walk. So what I did then was I went squeeze, squeeze with the outside rein, sat down in the saddle. Right, so my horse is walking along. I'm growing up a little taller, so he's listening to me. I'm going to stop my pelvis and then close my outside ring finger now. And that was how much I took to stop him. Didn't start that way in the beginning, and as I said, I've got that other video, go and watch that. So my seat is following my horse. I'm going to get him up into a trot transition. I'm going to ask him to come down. I didn't really want halt, but you know why he halted? Because I used too much aid in front and he stopped. And then I pause up here, yep, and he listened, then I felt him. And now I'm going to just sit down in the saddle and stop following with him until he comes back to walk, and then I follow. In walk, I'm allowing my pelvis to follow with him, and now I'm going to stop my pelvis from following, and he stops. It's a very quick video, but I hope it helps. If you've got any questions, pop them in the comments below and I'll try and answer them for you. Thanks.